Time is currently 6:49 AM on the south coast. It is looking beautiful. The video I'm going to do today. So if you haven't heard already, I am training to run from London to Paris. I'll get into that later on. I've mentioned that in every single video so far on this channel. But in my running plan, today and tomorrow are half marathons. So I thought, why not do a little experiment? We're going to find out how much of a difference it makes to fuel mid-run. So I don't mean beforehand, I don't mean refueling after you finish, but whilst you're running, taking on carbs for your energy levels, how does that affect your performance? So we're going to find out today. Perfect weather for it. I'm going to actually do the half marathon on the beach just because I fancy it. So that will add a layer, and I'm going to do the exact same run both days just to make the test fair. You know me, we like to be fair. Currently the only one on the beach. I think that's going to get way busier. Let's see how I get on. We're going to start today with no mid-fuel running. So I mix it up generally when I'm training. The slightly longer ones, when it sort of touches 30, 35, 40k, I will bring food along with me. Normally for half marathons I don't, but one main thing is I'm not trying to push my time. So I'm not trying to run really quick. I'm obviously training for a big challenge, so I don't want to risk any injuries, especially on sand. So less concerned about the time, less concerned about muscle fatigue and stuff like that, but I'm going to be purely judging my own energy levels and how much I feel I could give. Without further ado, let's get into the run. It's worth saying as well, I've already warmed up. I ran 1.3k here. I've stopped that, and then we'll do the half marathon here, and then I'll do a little cool down afterwards. Let's get into it. I didn't quite expect the ground to be this firm, to be fair. It's probably actually going to be really good to run on because it's going to be a little bit easier in my joints and stuff like that, because there'll be a little bit of give. But I thought it'd be more sort of movable sand that I'd have to work my way around a little bit. But we take that and we are off. One thing I didn't really think about, I think the tide's coming in, so I don't actually know how far I can run, but we'll find out. Just hit the 5k point. I'm actually feeling okay at the moment, energy level wise. I don't know where I've ended up. Feels like I'm in like Pirates of the Caribbean or something. A lot of the run ended up being on like quite big rocks, but my ankles feel fine, so not too worried about that. Yeah, I'm going to turn back when the beach ends, really. We will see. Turning around. The sand has got really like sinky here. So that was 6.2k. Get back to where we were, and that's about 12 and a half. And then run another 5k each way. Literally just turned halfway and realised that because I've got a microphone here that I'm not using at the moment, but I'll use at the end, and there's a little thing that plugs into your phone called a receiver, and I have dropped it, and the microphones are like 150, 160 quid, and I don't know if I've got a massive chance of finding it. That is really annoying. The thing is, I haven't used it for 45 minutes now since I did the intro, so I have no idea where it is. It could be nice and simple here. It could be in the rocks over there. I don't even know the path I've taken so far. So, fingers crossed. Oh my god. Is that it? I dropped the receiver of my microphone. Cost about 150 quid that. So, someone's on my side there that I found that far. That could have been really annoying. We got luck on our side today. So we've just hit the 10k mark, which is just under halfway. Energy levels, they're feeling a little bit lower now. So I've been running for about an hour, and what will happen now is I'll be coming towards the sort of ends of my glycogen stores that are in my muscles and my liver. Glycogen is basically the way that our body stores carbohydrates, which is our favourite source of energy. We're going to be coming towards more of a point of ketosis now, which is basically where I use my carbs, I start burning fat and probably a little bit of muscle as well, purely because fat, it takes longer to convert into usable energy. So I can imagine that the legs will slowly start feeling a little bit heavier. Running low on carbs, it's going to mean that my recovery is going to be a little bit slower. Be interesting to see if it affects how I feel tomorrow. Obviously I'll try my best to refuel throughout the day today ahead of that. Yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. I'll check in again at 15 kilometers and then at the end. Just coming up to 15 kilometers now, and I was right what I said before. I think the legs are starting to feel it a little bit more, just get a bit heavier, a little bit harder to move. Looks like we're turning back around here. I'll take this opportunity as well, I've spoken about it in previous videos, but got a little friend there. The reason why we're doing all this training is because on the 14th of September, me, my cousin, and 2 friends of mine are going to be running from the Tower of London to the Eiffel Tower. It's going to be about 330 kilometers, we hope. We're going to do that in 6 days, we hope. It's chalking off a lot of kilometers every day, so I'm working on my back-to-back runs, my back-to-back long runs, running multiple times in a day and things like that. But we are doing all of that in aid of a suicide prevention for young people charity called Papyrus. If you do have any money you want to spare, of course the link is going to be in the description, but just by watching this video, giving it a share, giving it a like, you're going to be supporting as well. So nearly there now. It is 8:24. Beach is getting a little bit busier. Is it 8:24? It is 8:24. We will finish this off and I'll speak to you at the end. That is the half marathon complete. Final time, my watch has just restarted. Well, it was about a 6-minute average, I think, per kilometre, which we don't mind. I was definitely right that my legs started to just become really heavy around, I'd say probably about 13 kilometres. Overall, it felt alright, but that's just because I guess my training volume has been quite high recently, so I'm probably used to those sorts of runs now. The beach felt really good on my joints, to be fair. I apologise if it's a bit windy. The goal today is now just going to be refueling, so I've probably burnt around 2,000 calories, so it's going to be getting my normal food in, plus a little bit on top of that, carbs mainly probably, a little bit of fats as well, and we go again tomorrow. So I think my microphone battery ran out just at the end there, but we got about a 1.3k run home. We'll see you tomorrow for the next half marathon. And we are back. Day number 2 out of 2, another half marathon today. The difference is I'm going to be eating carbs every 5 kilometers and at the start as well. The weather is a lot less warm, so that's probably going to affect my time and my energy levels a little bit, but equally I came away yesterday with some pain in my heel. I think maybe I've like bruised my heel or something, so I've just added this as an extra sort of layer to hopefully give it a bit more comfort. As for the mid-run fueling, which is of course what this video is about, I'm going to be using these OGT bars. So I've got 4 of these, one I'm going to have at the beginning, and then on 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers and 15 kilometers I'm going to have one, and basically going to compare how I feel during the run. I expect that it's going to make a difference too. My legs felt heavy at the end of yesterday's run. Generally, like mentally, my energy level was depleting massively, so I think that this is going to make a big difference. With the cherry bakewell flavour that I'm going to try right now. So the good thing about these bars is that they're wrapped in like a honeycomb film, which basically means don't need any packaging. With gels and conventional energy bars, you have to take it out of a packet, find a bin on the way. We don't litter over here. But these, you just bite straight into it and you're good to go. The film is basically like a apple skin, so nothing actually sticks to it, so it can be in your pocket and it's fine. And you can just, yeah, bite straight in and it's good to go. So it's all natural ingredients as well. I think it's mainly oats and seeds and stuff like that, as you can see. But yeah, we're going to find out how much of a difference this actually makes, because I've not actually done this test before side by side. I've always felt like when I'm fueling properly and I have a plan and stuff, my runs are better, more efficient, but we're going to find out for sure today. Big thank you to OGT, who are sponsoring our run from London to Paris that I spoke about earlier. We do have a link that I'll put in the description where you can get a discount on these products as well, so I do genuinely recommend giving them a go. Cycling, running, whatever you're doing, they're very good on-the-go snacks, and we're definitely going to be using them a lot during our run because they're so lightweight as well. So I think they're about 20-21 grams of carbs in each one, so on this run I'll be taking on about 80 to 85 grams of carbs. As I said earlier, not making excuses already, but my heel it's not feeling great, so I'm not expecting the time to be better, purely judging energy levels, and we'll see how we get on. And we are off. We're gonna go for the exact same route as yesterday, so pretty much on the sand. The sea is way more further out today, so hopefully a little bit less of the running on the big rocks and stuff like that. Just hit 5 kilometers now. Pace is alright, it's about 5:45 per kilometer. The thing I'm finding is my heel feels okay because I'm trying not to put too much pressure on it. The muscle down the front of my shins and my calves are taking a little bit of a battering. Not ideal. I think I'm gonna slowly slow down, to be honest. But 5 kilometers, got a second OGT bar. Now I don't actually know what flavour this one is. I'm sure I can have a guess. So spend the next minute or two just slowly getting this down me. One of the tricks when you're mid-run fuel is to make sure you properly chew. Not only because it's going to help with digestion, which you want to be fast when you're running. You don't want to start overworking, because obviously that is all blood and oxygen going to a different organ in your body when you'd rather it be going to your muscles, your heart, your lungs and stuff like that. But also, the more you chew, there's an enzyme in your saliva, I can't remember what it's called, but that starts the breakdown process of food from your mouth. So the more you chew, the quicker you can digest your food and the quicker you can absorb the nutrients, and ultimately the quicker you can use the energy that you're taking in. So we're going to get this down us now. I believe that is the honeycomb flavour. It looks great, tastes great. Lovely, it's the first time trying the honeycomb one. Very nice. Just realised at the 5k I forgot to actually check in on my energy levels. Energy, as yesterday, was pretty much fine at 5k. I sort of saw it dip at 10k before, but with that little boost from the OGT bar, I'm expecting that I'm going to feel a lot better this time at 10k than I did yesterday. Another 10k means another OGT bar. Now, keeping on the topic of nutrition, I wanted to talk about something called the glycemic index. Might be pronouncing that wrong. Also known as GI. You might know about this if you have diabetes, because it's a very good way of tracking which foods are most quickly absorbed into the bloodstream in terms of sugar and stuff like that. So you can judge what's going to give you the most blood sugar level spikes. Most energy bars or energy gels that you have are going to be about 90 on the glycemic index. And it's 1 to 100. 1 means it takes a long time to get into your bloodstream, the sugars that is, and 100 means it's very quick to get in. Generally in life, you'd look at things that are lower on the GI scale because you don't want to have those spikes in your blood sugar levels and therefore spikes in your insulin production. However, when you're running, you want a steady flow of energy into the bloodstream. At 90, there's obviously reasons why that's very good on the scale. However, with these bars here, they sit about mid-range on that scale, with oats being the main component, and they tend to have a rating of about 40 to 50. And what that means is you can have them more occasionally throughout your run, say every half an hour or every 5 kilometers, and you're still going to get that release of energy, almost a delayed release of energy after eating it, giving you more consistent levels throughout your run, which is what you want. You don't want to have massive spikes of energy followed by massive crashes. You want to be consistent the whole time. When you're racing or training, I'd say it's always best to try and keep a consistent pace, a consistent heart rate, something that your body can get used to. Bar number 3 now, because obviously we started off with one as well. I believe this is lemon drizzle flavour. I've not tried that before, but we're going to give it a go. That is lovely. I spend the next sort of kilometre or so getting through this, chewing nice and slowly, making sure I'm absorbing everything as efficiently as possible. As for an update on the heel, because of the compensation I was giving it, moving it towards the front of my foot, I found that I was getting a little bit of tightness in my glute. I've actually got a wedding later on today, and what I don't want is for my back to hurt the whole day because my glutes are weak. So I've tried to reposition the weight to the back of my foot again, over the last sort of 5 or 6 kilometres, I found that the pain has died down a lot. So check back in at 15 kilometres where we'll have our last OGT bar and push on to the end. The pace is actually going really well as well. I've definitely felt the energy stay consistent. I've sped up a little bit in the last 3 or 4 kilometres. So we'll see how I get on. 15k down, average pace, 5 minutes 45, which is a significant improvement on what I was at yesterday. The variables of it being cooler will weigh into that. But equally, the injury, I won't bang on about that. And also, I didn't really expect so much wind against me, so that's definitely pulled me back a little bit. But feeling energy levels really good. I think my legs feel way less heavy. They still feel like they can kind of glide along. But also, mentally, I found the kilometres are going by quicker. I think that's because I get more energy to my brain. It's feeling like less of a slog running in general. But bar number 4, back to where we started with the cherry bakewell. Last one of the run. Without a doubt, my favourite flavour. Beach is getting way busier. It's Saturday today, it was Friday morning yesterday. As much as a quiet beach, it's lovely to run. There's something nice about just loads of people going for a swim, surfing, horses on the beach, tents, people sunbathing, sandcastles, all of that stuff. I do like that. But as always, spend the next minute or two getting through this, and then I'll chat to you at the end. Speeding up for the end. Right, that was a really successful run. Finished up at 2 hours and 45 seconds, which knocks off 5 or 6 minutes from yesterday. Considering it's a second consecutive half marathon, I think cutting any time off is unexpected, to be honest. I thought it maybe be a bit slower. Problem with my heel, my shoes are a mess. Don't run in white shoes on the beach, they're also soaking wet now. But yeah, overall happy. I think the conclusion definitely is that mentally and physically taking carbs on board whilst you're running only benefits you. I would say in an ideal scenario, when you're not in a race or something like that, if you're training, I think stopping to fuel, pausing for a minute or two, is probably better, because I found that every 5 kilometres it would take me sort of 600 or 700 metres to get the food in me, and in that time I slowed down a lot, because not only was I concentrating on eating, but also I'm able to take a lot less oxygen in when I'm chewing as well, because I'm having to rely on breathing through my nose. And also, yeah, while you're moving and eating, obviously less oxygen is going to go to your muscles and stuff like that, because not only are you breathing through your nose, but also you have to give your stomach some oxygen as well. Please do subscribe, like the video, share with all of your bestest friends, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye. Oh, I missed the camera. I got close enough.